A guy walks butt naked into a store? And why is Hollywood so in love with red now? Toddlers are now carrying handguns? It's time to make it make sense. All right, happy Saturday. Let's do a little make it make sense for the weekend. And here to do that with me, Shemeka Michelle from North Carolina. Shemeka, thank you for joining me. Have you seen this video of a guy walking around a grocery store or a Home Depot or somewhere with his butt hanging out? You want to talk about sagging pants. Now we got guys, they don't even have underwear on, sagging butts, and someone taping a video. Make it make sense.
Go, you tripping? Oh no.
You know, a friend of mine said some years ago that the camera phone was the worst thing to happen to black people. And I don't know if that's because it exposes the foolishness that we already get into, or if he knew we would just go out of our way to get likes and clicks, and we feel like we have to constantly be buffoons and entertain people. It's so sickening that someone would go out in the grocery store with no type of self-respect. You know, we say all of this, and we've been talking about racial idolatry and worshiping our skin. This whole black is beautiful, my black is bold. Well, does your black have any self-worth or self-respect? This looks stupid, and no woman is gonna look at you and say, oh my God, look at his behind, I want some of that. You are doing that for clicks and views and the attention of a man, because no woman is gonna look at you and think that's the type of man I want to get with. So he looks stupid and silly, and we can't make it make sense, except that we got a ways to go with our people.
You know what though? I'm not gonna racialize this. This is just about an American culture that everybody wants to be a reality TV star. And your friend is right, the cell phone is one of the worst things to happen just to people. And the cameras on phones are one of the worst things just to happen to people. People can't go out to eat without taking a picture of their food. They can't meet someone without we gotta take a selfie. They can't go to an event and enjoy the event, a sporting event. No one watches Tiger Woods anymore. They all just hold their cell phone and try to capture the image. And then what do they do with it once they have it? It just sits in their phone. It's not like, oh, let me go rewatch this moment Tiger stood over a putt. You can do that by, getting on the internet and watching his actual highlights. It's everybody is the star of their own Truman Show. I don't know if you remember that Jim Carrey movie, but that's what everybody's doing. Everybody's turned themselves into content rather than a human being or someone that's out taking care of their responsibilities. Everybody's just chasing clout, chasing clicks, and chasing content. Clout, clicks, and content. I like that. I just made that up on the fly here. But if I had to make sense of it, Shemeka, it's just nobody actually wants to acquire a real skill. They just want to put a camera on themselves and make money that way.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with the racial side of it, Jason. Maybe I follow too many black people because I don't see white people doing this type of foolishness. Now, maybe they are jumping off a house into a stack of hay or putting a firecracker up a cat's behind. I don't know. They're doing some silly stuff now for video.
Hold on, let me stop you. Have you not seen these white people fall into their knees and screaming Black Lives Matter and kissing black people's rear end on camera. That looks maybe not as silly as running around with your behind out, but close.
Yeah, that one is pretty bad. And that one actually made me so mad because I'm so sick of white people apologizing. I don't know what to do. Like, did you do something to me? Because I missed it. I'm the type of person that I'm going to check you right out the gate. So all of this apologizing is getting on my nerve. But when it comes to this type of debauchery that we just push out on the internet, maybe I need some new friends because I don't see it to this extent. White people, send me some videos because otherwise I got to keep it racial.
Didn't they have a TV show where people were doing crazy stunts? I mean, because all of this is born out of reality TV. Once reality TV became the fad, there was Fear Factor. Weren't people eating like bugs and swallowing snakes or whatever, or just crazy stuff? That dude that's running around with his butt, he has no real skill, he has no real talent, so he just pulls his pants down. And the one thing I 1000% agree with you on, he ain't pull his pants down looking for no woman. He's advertising to a whole different demographic, and it ain't women.
Yeah, I think the show, Jason, was Jackass, wasn't it? When it was the white people going out doing all this. Yeah, that was it. And I remember, I think the creators of that did a movie called Bad Grandpa or something like that. And I took my kids when they were younger to see it. I had no idea what we were going to see. I just thought, okay, this looks pretty funny. And the way I sat in that theater with people, first of all, looking at me like, why did she bring those kids to this? But the way they thought it was hilarious and actually gave it a standing applause at the end, they loved the movie. But yes, we have had those type of shows, but this was a movie, this was a show. Just doing this for social media clicks, like, I almost feel like the dancing gorilla. I mean, you gonna get some money off of it or what? Because you're not getting it off just one or two viral videos. You're not collecting a check for that.
Let's move on to the other thing I need to make sense. I've been on Team Gisele Bündchen throughout this whole entire Tom Brady divorce scenario. I'm now starting to pivot and the people that say, man, Gisele's a witch. I wasn't buying that originally, but I just saw her on the cover of Vogue magazine, Italy or Italia or whatever, and she's dressed like a witch, or some people are saying she's dressed like some cross-dresser or transgender person that's on some popular TV show or whatever. But the first thing that I thought is just like, we done had Sam Smith at the Grammys in red, Rihanna at the Super Bowl halftime in red, and now we got Gisele in red on the cover, and we got the Ronald McDonald clown boots in red that everybody's wearing. What is going on with red and fashion, and why is this the color? Am I crazy for thinking this has some kind of satanic messaging?
Jason, I honestly don't know if it has some type of satanic message, but let me say this really quickly. I've been Team Tom the entire time. And listen, Vogue may think we don't notice, but I noticed. They gave Gisele some hips because I just saw her in a bathing suit a week or two ago and in salsa dancing or something a few days ago. She doesn't have hips. She's shaped like a club cracker. So I want them to stop playing the way they got her on this cover like she is this voluptuous. Let me start there. But as for the red, yes, we're seeing it certainly all the time. And we know that colors come and go and they may have a color for the season, but it definitely seems like they're playing up the whole mysterious, worship of something. And it seems evil because of the way they actually package it. I don't think if it was just a normal red dress, people would be too, suspicious. But the way they are putting it out there certainly has an evil undertone.
Yeah, I'm starting to think that Tom made the right call here, and I do. The first thing I noticed on that Vogue cover were the hips, and I was like, Gisele got it like that, and she doesn't. But that may be why some people are saying she's dressed like some transgender, and I don't know why I can't think of the woman's name. That they're saying she's dressed like some transgender deal, and that the whole magazine is a shout out to the transgender issue, and that again goes like, well, hold on, maybe Tom got out while the getting is good. I've been in one of those deals where you figure out you're sleeping with the enemy, and and you just need to hit the eject button. And so maybe that's what Tom's did. So I'm gonna start cutting Tom some slack. I'm not a parent. You are, and perhaps you know what's going on with toddlers today. But I saw this video of a toddler playing with a gun and his parents egging him on, or playing with a toy. Parents egging him on. I need you to make this video make sense.
What you got right there, boy?
Put in your pepper, boo.
I've seen some people defend this and be like, hey, as they love to do, well, white parents teach their kids to play with guns and blah, blah, cowboys and Indians. That looks a little different, and this whole what about white people thing that we can justify anything with what about Brett Favre or what about white people. Anyway, make it make sense for me.
There's so much wrong with this video, Jason. First of all, he's in a pull-up. If you can actually pull a gun out and put it back into your pull-up, you have no business in a pull-up. That's number one. Number two, whatever he's saying is inaudible, which lets me know that he doesn't even speak well. So why is it that you all aren't teaching him things to actually be a better person, to get a good education, to do well in school? You're teaching him this stupidity, and whoever that adult is in the background talking about, what it is, boy.
What you got right there, boy?
Or whatever. You sound just as ignorant. You are setting your child up for failure because he's going to think this is cute. He's going to think this is cool, and this is what he needs to do to get attention, even if it's attention. And it does bother me, Jason, when we have the whole whataboutism. I had someone respond to me and say that white people raise their kids with guns and then they go out and do mass shootings. This is not the same as Billy Bob learning how to shoot and be responsible with a gun at 5. This is not what that is, number one. And number two, how do we continue to just make white people the epitome of human beings? We don't have to compare everything to white people. They shouldn't be our reference point all the time. Why can't we just see something that's wrong in our community and say, this is just wrong? No, what about white people? I've seen people, I think it was Bryson, I'm not sure what the tweet said, somebody told me about it, saying, talking about pedophilia. Even when it comes to that, we can't act like pedophilia is not an issue in the black community as well. Maybe it's not on record, but I know too many people or too many women that had to deal with an uncle or a cousin or a family friend molesting them, and they had to keep quiet. So it's not on record because we didn't want Junebug or Tyrone or little fat draws to go to jail. So she was told to be quiet and figure out the best way that she could to go on and heal and be a whole person. this happens a lot for men and women. When you see an older man that says, yeah, I got my 11-year-old brother, a woman, so he can know what to do, that's pedophilia. So we glorify it in our community. We may not call it what it is, and we may not act like it's an issue, but it is an issue, which is why I also get upset when I see young girls on the internet or parents posting their young girls dressed too sexy with weave and eyelashes and twisting, be it on a runway or just around the house. I want to ask them, if you were molested, looking dusty and ashy with your nappy pigtails, what are you doing to this little girl, putting her out there as if she's this grown woman? So it's an issue, and I want us to just start owning things opposed to doing the whole, what about white people? What about Brett Favre? This was a problem, period. This little boy doing this was just a problem, plain and simple. And if we continue to always look at white people before we check the people in our community, nothing's going to get better. We have to see that something is wrong, take responsibility and accountability, and want to fix it. I don't care what white people are doing. I'm not around white people. There was a little boy that was just killed at the high school that my daughter does her activities at 2 weeks ago. This is happening too much, and we have to start putting our foot down and looking at the problem and stop lying about it. We're lying too much. And as long as we point the finger to white people, this will continue to happen, because the whole whataboutism is not going to fix the problem. What about us-ism? That's what's going to fix the problem.
Yeah, you can either go, what about white people? Or you can say, what would Jesus do? I think that second one might lead to some progress. The other one is just an excuse to ignore the problem. Shemeka,
Right.
Great job. Thank you for helping me make it make sense. Go to youtube.com/Jason Whitlock, hit notifications, subscribe. Can we get at least 2,000 likes on this video? I asked for very little. But this is a tiny thing. All you have to do is take your little finger and push a like button, or click on the like button. That's all you got to do. We need 2,000 likes on this video. Stay tuned, stay with us. We'll see you on Monday.